What's up, everybody? It's Relentless here, bringing you a brand new edition and a brand new episode of Division. And as you can see by the thumbnail, 1.8 predictions. Now, if you go to the Division's website on Twitter and you start back 3 days ago, it has a picture posted and it says, "We have been busy, preoccupied with our own affairs." What this basically means, going along with the Rikers that are posted in the picture, is more or less if you're roaming around the DZ or the light zone, periodically and quite frequently actually, especially in the DZ, you can see these different factions between Rikers and rioters, and even LNB having these little skirmishes in between themselves, and basically you can sit back and just watch one kick the other's butt, and then clean up the mess, kill the boss, get the loot, and then hightail it out there without any problems or issues. And that was 3 days ago. And also on the very next tweet it says, "We had to scurry like rats to grab what we could while we could." Basically they had to get what they could because the SHD, the agents, were coming in to take back Manhattan, so they pretty much had to take what they could and scramble around and occupy their territories. And basically their territories are pretty much set apart in the light zone and in the DZ. In different areas you'll see some on this street corner, and then you go 2 streets down and it's a totally different faction, and then periodically in between the two you have little skirmishes in between the two. It's kind of like more or less a turf war. So moving on to 2 days ago, it has a picture of some rioters, and it says, "We were outgunned, the embodiment of loosely organized chaos." We were outgunned. If you notice, they mostly are using pistols and basically are using fire axes, like the guys that try to chase you around with the axe and the shields, more or less. And they're using pistols, and then there's some that have the sniper rifles. Well, then you take in consideration what the other factions have. The LNB have machine guns, grenade launchers. The others have big flamethrowers and machine guns slash flamethrowers and gas grenades. So therefore, they've been outgunned, and it's like, they realize this, and they realize they're not as organized. So this is like foreshadowing things to come. Also, they show another picture of them raiding a police department. It says, "It's time to show the SHD who really runs New York. We do." So, I mean, you got to take in consideration all this is foreshadowing. And then also it continues on. The next tweet says, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." Okay, well, they're all enemies. But yet we're trying to take back Manhattan from them. We're trying to take what they took and pretty much taking it back for the people. So that foreshadows them banding together and coming after us instead of fighting amongst themselves. It's a famous movie quote that's been in several movies, anime, you name it. "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." So therefore, if I'm an enemy with somebody and we both have a common enemy, then we're going to band together, and then we're going to take out that one, which would be the agents. And then it goes on to 1 day ago, "There is plenty to go around. It's the SHD keeping us from success." And they're right. We're out there killing them, taking back what they had took after the virus had hit. So therefore, I mean, it's just a constant, teaser. They're trolling you, but yet they want you to put the pieces together. And you can all read this for yourself on the Division on their Twitter. And then it posts another picture of what I call a big pisser. I call them pissers because, the flamethrower guys, the big heavies. "This is our city. We have to cleanse it to claim it." So how do you cleanse something? You set it on fire. And, just like, either by Noah and the Great Flood, or by burning everything to the ground, cleansing it, destroying everything, and then rebuilding. And then the most foreshadowing picture of all, it says, "They thought they saved what remains. We remain." And it's a picture of an LNB and a Riker, and they are together, and they have a JTF officer in each hand, and it's at Pier 89. So are they dragging this JTF along and going to execute him or hold him for hostage? I mean, who knows? They, for all we know, they could be taking him back in the back alley and prison style gangbang him, you know. But anyways, so they're banding together, taking back the JTF. Granted, the JTF, you see them, you know, clapping once we, you know, we come take out, you know, a light zone boss or whatever, and you can hear them firing, but, you know, half the time their bullets never land, they never kill each other. So what does this, you know, exactly mean? Are they going to actually be implementing, you know, what JTF officers that you see are roaming? They're going to be more or less captured. Are they going to be taken out and killed? All these rogues and different factions and whatnot are going to be banding together. So there'll be no more, you know, little skirmishes in between their two, as you would see in the, like the light zone or whatnot. But yet they will actually be together. So it won't be just, you know, going and taking out, say, Bullet King and only, you know, fighting him and his little minions. But yet you may also incorporate LMB elements within them, helping them out instead of actually fighting against them. And then we go on to 22 hours ago, and this is the Isaac system. Basically, you know, when you go in and out of the dark zone, it lets you know when an agent's down. It lets you know. Basically, it's saying backup activated, system rebooted, tracking signal source. And then 16 hours ago, signal source unknown, extending search, ETA 48 hours. And that was 16 hours ago. So, roughly one more day from now, I expect to either have them tweet out some more teasers or giving a little more tidbits and more, you know, info and more pics, you know, as far as, you know, stringing us along, but more or less painting an even more clearer picture of what has yet to come. You know, we are getting these classified gear sets, which are stronger than the regular 256 ones. Are we going to be seeing, you know, even more? Granted that the engineers with the shotguns that can still snipe you from, you know, 4 streets away still are pretty pain in the butt. And in my opinion, their range shouldn't be no more than our range on our shotguns and vice versa. But anyways, that's a totally different topic. Here what we're talking about is factions banding together, different elements. So if you take one of those big flamethrower fatties, what I call pissers, and then you implement him with some, you know, grenade launchers and LMB elements, and then you have tons of axe guys accompanied with that all together. I mean, instead of, you know, them fighting amongst themselves, they're going against you. So instead of just, you know, having to focus on one different element and how to defeat that one element as far as hitting the weak spots, you know, on the big guys, you're going to have all these others you're going to have to worry about. Constantly bombarded with the grenades, accompanied with the gas grenades that also, you know, give you damage and whatnot. More or less, not even the flames, and then you got the heavy gunners along with the big flame guys. So just think about that. You know, the big fat heavies with the flamethrowers, and then you throw in a big heavy LMG guy, you know, the one that wears the Barrett's bulletproof vest that has the X on it, and then you throw in some X guys and some LMBs on top of that. I mean, the sky's the limit as far as, you know, what a person's imagination can go to. One especially that loves the Division and knows the lore and plays the game, because you see all these elements in the dark zone and the light zone, you know, all the time. You know, you see their little skirmishes or whatnot, and the only time they really turn their attention is when an agent, you know, pretty much starts shooting. And then still, you know, they don't all focus on the agent. 75 to 85% of the time, one faction is still shooting at the other, while you're pretty much shooting both of them. So therefore, instead of that happening, they're both going to be turning and focusing on agents. So that's what I see foreshadowing as far as 1.8. And they say that the next global events would hit before 1.8. So there are lots of things to come and to come by. Let me know what your thoughts and theories are in the comment section below. As far as these pictures that I've shown you, the Twitter quotes, all these elements and these little tidbits of info and these little teasers that they're giving you. And this thing about the 48 hours, and this was 16 hours ago. So expect some new information, some new teasers forthcoming in the next day. But yeah, that's so far. That's what I have. It's pretty, cut and dry as far as the imagination can allow you to go. And I, for one, am looking forward to what's in store. Fighting all these elements at once. They're banding together to take back what we pretty much have taken back. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to ground and pound that like button and check out the links in the description below for that console giveaway. Just click on that Gleam link and follow through the steps. And don't forget to check out Revolution Gaming's Facebook community, a non-toxic, most positive gaming community for all things gaming, not just Division. So if you need someone to squad up, you want to make new friends, new people to game with, then Revolution Gaming is the place to be. We'll see you guys.